Since I'm finally seeing Sonic the Hedgehog 3 later, let's talk about the Knuckles series. Probably don't need to say this, but spoilers ahead, so cut that like button and come back later. So in case any of you are wondering why I'm not reviewing the second Sonic movie because I reviewed the first one the other day, it's because the second Sonic movie was one of my earliest reviews here on TikTok, so I decided to not do another review to that and just continue on with the Knuckles series. My favorite character in this show has to be Knuckles. Knuckles the Echidna is my all-time favorite character within the Sonic franchise, and he is definitely the best part of this show. Well, whenever he is in it, I will talk about that very soon. So yeah, this is a really cute show to watch, and it's definitely a good watch if you want to see anything new related to the Sonic franchise. Knuckles is my favorite character within the Sonic franchise, so it's nice to see him get the spotlight in his very own show. Though, he definitely doesn't get the spotlight for all that long. Even though this is supposed to be the Knuckles show, it definitely is more focused towards Wade's character. Now, I never really mind Wade's characters in the Sonic franchise. I mean, he can be a little bit annoying at times, but I overall found him to be a pretty fun character. Still, when I promise that I'm going to be getting a show centered on Knuckles' character, I think we should be expecting a show that's centered around his character. I found the main villain of this show to be very boring as a character. He lacked much motivation on why he was doing all these things. He just didn't feel like a good written character in my opinion. We don't even really know who this guy really was. He was just kind of some sort of broker who worked for Dr. Robotnik, and we don't even know his name. Like, who the heck was this guy? The trailers were building him up to be some guy who had some personal beef with Knuckles, but he was just some normal guy. Though I actually did kind of enjoy the storyline of him wanting to collect some of Knuckles' quills in order to power some weapons. I think that actually leads into some pretty interesting storylines for the future of the Sonic franchise. I was actually surprised to see just how good some of the CGI in this show was, along with some of the fight scenes. Like, the fights in this show are pretty enjoyable to watch. In the CGI, I would even call it to be on the same level as the CGI in the movies. Even though I didn't really enjoy the main villain of this show, the two ex-gun agents were pretty fun to watch. They kind of gave me Team Rocket vibes. Their dynamic with one another was pretty fun to watch. I did feel like that this show ended in a pretty bizarre place, to be honest. It kind of ended right out of nowhere and felt a little bit cliche. You know that one joke from Family Guy where Peter jumps into the air to celebrate keeping the company plane, but is then just suddenly stuck in the air and doesn't know how to get down? That's basically the ending to this show. Also, I was really mad to see that this show didn't go into any kind of detail about how Knuckles got his abilities. I mean, sure, we kind of got a little bit of information of some of Knuckles' abilities, mainly the Flames of Disaster, but I'm talking about his energy abilities. One of my main complaints to the Sonic movies so far is that they don't really do a good job on explaining the origins of these energy-like powers. In the first movie, Sonic was building up these powers to be super important and that people are willing to steal his powers, as we've seen what Dr. Robotnik and everybody else has been doing by turning his quills into energy-like weapons. And in that opening scene from the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, we see a bunch of echidnas attacking Longclaw and Sonic, and you would assume that they're trying to go after Sonic too in order to get his energy-like abilities. So when you see Knuckles appear in the sequel with energy-like powers like Sonic, you would expect Sonic to ask Knuckles some questions like, hey, where did you get those powers? Like, were you born with them or something? Like, where'd you get them, man? But they never go into detail with that. I always had such the biggest complaint when it came to that kind of storytelling. Still, despite the flaws in this show, it is still a really fun and cute watch if you want to watch something with the family. My favorite moment of this show has to be when we see Knuckles' past. While this wasn't the backstory I was wanting to see for Knuckles' character, this was a pretty fun scene to watch. Not only was the song during Knuckles' story actually kind of catchy, but I just love how ridiculous this whole scene was. I especially get a good laugh when we see Wade, who's playing Knuckles at this point in the story, telling his father not to pass away, and we just see a Muppet version of Knuckles' father just telling Wade, "Don't worry son, I'll never," and then just suddenly passes away. And the fact that the Muppet suddenly gets the X crosses on its eyes as it passes away, oh my gosh, it's a good laugh out of me. I think another reason why it gets a good laugh out of me is because during this whole sequence, they have an actor playing Knuckles' father in this story, but then they just suddenly switch out a puppet. It's just so stupid, I can't help but laugh. I give this show a 7 out of 10, giving it a C. Anyway, that's a review. Go down to the comments, tell me what you thought of Knuckles. Share this video with all your friends. And click that like and follow button to keep up to date with all my latest content. See ya!